Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Catatonia's YouTube channel, starring me, the mighty Cryano. This is Bosses Only, the video series where we look at just the bosses from a dungeon, because you're not stuck on trash, you're stuck on bosses! From the Dragon Bones DLC, this is Scalecaller Peak. It's called that because up on the peak of this mountain lived Zaan, who loves to call everybody a scale and to insult them all the time. She thinks everybody's a scale, so to show her that we're not, we're going to go to her dungeon and kick her ass. Let's look at boss number 1, Orzun the Foul-Smelling and Rinaerus the Rancid. Bit of an interesting fight and a very mobile fight for the tank. Take Orzun the Foul-Smelling, the bigger guy, keep him to the edge of the room, but also range taunt Rinaerus in the middle. He won't move from the middle, but keep them separate. Now, what's going to happen is you'll see all these yellow spike traps floating around the room, and the big guy is going to stomp on the ground, which targets you with a snow tremor. When you see that coming towards you, stand in one of the yellow things, and when the tremor hits you, it'll explode and go away. If you are not standing in one of those yellow ice traps, you'll die. The other version of this is the big guy in the middle will stomp the ground and cause ice pillars to shoot up from the ground like this. Stand behind the biggest ones because the smaller guy is going to shoot really hard-hitting snowball type things around, which will kill you in no time. So line of sight yourself with the middle boss while hiding behind an ice pillar until the ice pillar explodes. Then you're safe to run around again. For this reason, we need to, as we're damaging each boss, keep their damage pretty level. 1 DPS should be attacking the middle guy, 1 DPS should be attacking the outer guy. Try to keep their damage level. If one guy dies before the other, you won't have the counter to whichever one's moves. Aside from that, watch out for skeevers, and with Orzun, watch out for the big heavy attack. And remember, keep them separate. They've both got an AoE, which gets stronger if they overlap and can wipe you all. Let's move on to the next boss, Doylemish Ironheart. He's a big gargoyle thing. There's a few things going on here. Perhaps one of the worst, for the tank at least, is the fact that if he hits you, he'll put quite a nasty bleed on you that can kill you very quickly, and you'll need to be purged or cleansed by the healer. However, it's one of those moves where if you watch the gargoyle closely, you'll see him raise his hands and you'll know the exact moment to dodge roll and avoid getting hit. You'll never get that bleed. At every 20% of his health, one of these floating orbs is going to spawn, so the more damage you do, the quicker they'll spawn. As you've seen here, we've got a couple of them up at a time. Kill those very quickly, because a laser beam that comes out of them will turn you to stone. There are also other laser beams coming from the orbs around the edge, which do the same thing. Avoid these laser beams. He'll also summon ice wraiths periodically. They don't have very much health. They peck at you. They're kind of annoying. Just sort of take them out in the AoE. The tank can taunt them and stack them on the boss. The boss also does a ground stomp that does a pretty good bit of damage. You'll see it coming and you'll be able to dodge roll out of it. A lot of what goes on with the tank is a lot of blocking, dodge rolling, and sort of keeping him in one area as best as possible. There are also spreading AoEs on the ground. They aren't one-shots, they don't hurt too much, but you want to avoid them nonetheless. As best as you can, focus on stacking and burning the boss. Just avoid those laser beams, and tank, avoid getting hit by that thing that puts the bleed on you, because it's pretty nasty. You shouldn't have too much trouble with this guy as long as you keep those things in mind. And if somebody does get turned to stone by the laser beams coming from the orbs, you can run up to it and synergize it, just like in that fight in 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼 2 with 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊ℂℝ�ٚ�𝒔, where she turns him into a mummy. Let's move on to the next boss, Matriarch Aldis. She is just like the boss from the ice level in Maelstrom Arena, so if you've seen that, you pretty much know what to expect. Lots of swinging her club, lots of stomping. The difference here is that at every 10% of her health, she's going to spawn one of those lemmonid things, which is like a poisonous version of the flying lemmonid sexy lady monsters. And they'll all shoot poo at you. They also summon poo geysers to hold you up in the air. Now, what the tank can do is actually bring her over to one edge of the room and turn her away from the group. As long as he keeps his block up, he can avoid the big damage because it won't hurt at all. The other problem really is just the lemonids constantly spawning and throwing poo at everybody. Tank, taunt as many of those as possible so that you're absorbing the projectiles and everybody else will just stack and burn behind her. You're not going to have too much of a problem. She'll go down pretty quickly like she has here. So let's move on through this door to the next boss. I wonder who it is. Why, it's Plague Concoctor Mortieu. So there's quite a lot going on in this fight, but I don't think you're going to have too much trouble. Plague Concoctor Mortieu is a bow and arrow man who's also extremely poisonous. He will do arrow spray, the poison version. He'll also do taking aim, where he launches a very hard-hitting snipe at you. You can bash him when he does that. You'll see all these gratings around the room. Every so often, one of those, you're going to see like a telegraph around it. The tank needs to go stand on it and hold block, because it's about to start shooting an absolute fountain of poo that will hit everybody and wipe the group if you're not standing on it. So tank, when you see one of those lighting up, make sure you're standing on it. So let's get this fight started. Beat him up as much as possible. Here you go, you can see the telegraph on that grate over there. Tank, go stand in it and hold block. Perfect. Do as much damage to him as you can, and after a while, you're going to notice that you're taking some kind of special poison effect. Either it's doing less health regen for you, or he ravages your stamina, or he ravages your magicka. When you are under one of these effects, an NPC in the room is going to tell you that he needs a specific type of enemy's guts to make a cure. So in this case, it looks like it's imps. Sometimes it'll be stranglers, sometimes it'll be beetles. You can, of course, kill them all, but kill the one that the NPC wants first. And after a while, a little AoE pool will appear in the room, which is in fact the cure. You can go stand in it, and the effect will be negated that you are currently suffering from, and you'll actually get a buff to the thing that was previously being negated. There's the cure, stand in it. Now your damage and stamina recovery have been increased. Continue damaging the boss. Now tank, every time you stand on one of those poo geyser grates to protect the group, get back sort of to the middle of the room and put your head on a swivel, because you never know which of these grates is going to light up next as being the next poo fountain, and you need to be on it before it starts wiping the group. So just keep your eyes out, you never know where it's going to be. Watch out for the fire AoE that the boss sometimes puts down. You can't actually interrupt his arrow spray, but you can interrupt the taking aim. As you can see over there, we've got another poo fountain active. Tank's gone and stood on it to preserve the group's health and make sure they don't get damaged. Keep going with damaging the boss, and he's going to put another negative effect on you. You're never sure what it's going to be. Or maybe you are, and I just don't know. Here we go. His plague lowers the healing you receive, so that's the healing debuff one. So the NPC has told you that he needs a specific thing, Strangler Sap perhaps, or Beetle Chitin, or maybe Imp Guts. He'll tell you which thing to kill. You go kill it, and the cure appears on the floor. Stand in it, and you will receive a buff. Continue burning the boss until he dies. Fantastic. Loot your lockpicks, and we'll make our way through this door to the grand finale. We're finally going to punish Zaan for calling everybody a scale. So, Zaan the Scalecaller. What a horrible lady she is. Let's go activate hard mode and give ourselves a headache because, well, this fight is a bit of a headache, let's be honest. So you'll notice now with hard mode active, we've got 2 extra ads in the room, an ice atronach and another lemonade. What are we going to do? We're going to kill them. But when you kill the lemonade and kill the ice atronach, some things are going to happen. From the ice atronach, one of those yellow spike traps is going to be traveling around the room, just like in the first boss's fight. Don't stand in it, you need it later in the fight. Same with the lemonade. When she dies, there's going to be a poo geyser, which you're going to need later. Don't stand in it. If you stand in those, you've removed them from the fight, and people are going to die during a critical phase of the fight. Tank, take aggro of everything so it's not hurting anybody. Watch out for her heavy attack that can knock you flying if you're not blocking. She also does Dawnbreaker, watch out for that. Occasionally, Zaan is going to pick a person at random, she's doing it right now to 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼, and shoot wave after wave of flame at them. You can hide behind that pillar like she just did, and it'll hit the pillar and never hit you. You can also kite it around, but be wary of the rest of your group. You don't want those flames to hit them. So here's another thing. Sometimes she'll pick a person up and shoot a wave of flame at them, just like the Zaan Monster Helm effect. If you stand in the middle of that beam, you can protect the person taking damage. If it's on the tank, just stand in it for a couple of ticks, or if the tank's got magma shell, he can pop that, and nobody needs to stand between it, because you do have a little bit of an advanced warning. Now, as you can see, after a little bit, I think it's 20% of her health, she will make the entire room fill with poison. At this point, you need to each stand in a different thing. So the spike trap from before, one player stand in that. The poo fountain, one player stand in that. You'll notice there's an orb at the side of the room shooting a laser beam around that turns you to stone, just like in the Doylemish fight. One player stand in that, and Zaan herself will throw her shield somewhere. One player stand in that. During the poison phase, everybody stand in a different thing and you will be saved. Now, every so often, the 3 dragon statues, the one on the left, middle, and right, will activate and fill that quadrant of the room, or should I say third of the room, with poison. Do not be in that side of the room. If you see 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼's got the fiery breath waves on her again and she's hid behind the pillar, it's probably the best place to stand to protect everybody else. Again, 20% of her health done, and she spawns these ice people. Kill them as quick as possible, and she will throw her shield, and everybody will need to, again, stand in a different mechanic. One person stand in the shield, 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼 is standing in the ice trap, someone else in the poo fountain, and somebody else gets turned to stone, and everybody is saved. Back to fighting again. Kill the lemonade, kill the atronach, avoid the mechanics that they spawn upon death. Inferno's hold is on somebody. Stand in the beam to block it from hurting the other person, just like that. Perfect. Finish off the atro, but avoid his spike trap. The left half of the room, third of the room, just got lit up with poison. Let's avoid that. Looks like the fiery breath move really likes assaulting 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼. Fortunately, she hung out quite close to the pillar and is safe. Left side of the room, avoid the poison. Again, another 20% of her health done, and it's time to kill the ice people. Now, the reason you've got to kill these ice people quickly is because you are taking progressively more and more ice damage over time, and if you don't kill them quick enough, you will freeze and explode and shatter into a million tiny pieces. So you've got to kill them first, and as soon as you do that, everybody gets to a mechanic. Someone will get turned to stone in the stone laser, somebody stand in the ice trap that comes from the 𝕊𝕑𝕑, someone stand in the poo fountain that comes from the 𝕊𝕦𝕣𝕖, and someone else stand in Zaan's shield, which he throws across the room. So as you can see, there's a lot of mechanics to keep your eye on, but it's fairly rinse and repeat. However, communication really needs to be on top of it. The part where she shoots fiery breath, you don't want to hit one of your group members with it. During Inferno's hold, you need to break that beam to protect the person who is taking the damage. Communication is very important for this, otherwise you're going to have a pretty hard time. Remember, you never know which part of the room, middle or the left or right, is going to light up with poison, so sort of stick around on one of the divides or seams between each section so that you can quickly sidestep. We've done another 20%, the ice people are up, let's get them killed and then let's each get to a mechanic. I believe 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼𝕑 is the ice trap. Tank gets turned to stone, healer comes to the shield, the other DPS gets in the poo fountain. We're in execute now. Let's lay the damage as best as we can and try to get this lady taken out. Almost there now. A little bit of damage to go. Oh, Inferno's hold. Somebody break that beam. And it looks like we've just about got her. She's dead. What's this? Mountain God?
Wow.
Wow, indeed. So the Mountain God achievement means that we have done a no-death, hard mode speedrun on Veteran, all in one go. Congratulations. Perhaps we'll do a video showing the entire dungeon, and you can see just how that's done. But there you go. That is how you do Scalecaller Peak on hard mode. Congratulations, you've now got a Zaan's hat which you can wear, which does the Inferno's hold thing, minus the part where it CCs the other person, so you can't actually hold them still. But you can chase them around with a nice beam of flame, and enjoy the hate tells you will receive in PvP. Subscribe if you like what you see right here on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button and press the bell to be notified when a new video posts. We post them pretty frequently. You can check out this video here on the right, and you can also check out this video here on the left if you'd like to see more. Check out the stream at twitch.tv/𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼, and we'll see you next time on Bosses Only! You scrub.